Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Skulk, continuing the story of Winds of Change. This episode, from what it looks like from the last one, we have people to talk to. A lot of people to talk to. So, let's talk to some people. Still, I'm going to record that music. Before it starts catching us into its beauty, let's get into the talking. So, after this episode, I'm going to be recording that piece of music just to go. Should I? I mean, I guess it's not really technically stealing because it's just admiring. It's not my music. I'm still posting it as this is from. Yeah, I'll still do it. I'm gonna post the music from this game that we are just loving, and I'm sure you guys love it too. I can't say you do, but I'm sure you do. Let's read. Dominic sits in the bed, staring down at the pendants I saw him hold back at the headquarters. He had faced death and come out on the other side. That would change any man. But what happened while he was gone? That's a question that's been on my mind. I approached cautiously, careful not to startle him out of his reverie. When I get close to him, he looks up at me, making no effort to hide his tears. He finally had time to process everything that happened back in the tunnels.
I was such a fool, Monarch. Shane tricked me. I was careless. I should have never let him get close to me. He knew my weakness and exploited it. He made me so happy to see him again, I thought I was finally ready.
Weakness? What does he mean?
Will you have a seat with me, Monarch? I guess I should tell you the truth of what happened. From the sidelines, I must have looked incompetent. I mean, I'm trained in combat, you know. I should have been able to avoid Shane's dagger with ease. It's what they're all thinking, even if they don't say anything.
No, it was a sneak attack, and you were happy to see him back. Almost anyone would have done the same. If someone you loved, someone you cared about so much, came back from what you thought was certain death, or from a long time, from a long trip, or just a childhood friend you'd never seen in years, you would crumble on, "It's you! It's you! Welcome back!" It's not a sign of weakness, maybe. Maybe it is, but still. It's human. And for your case, anthropomorphic. With my interest peaked, I sit down beside Dominic. He puts the pendant into one of his pockets and turns to face me. I could tell that his crying spell was over. He was more calm and collected.
Back during the occupation, my parents were killed. I saw them murder my father with no hesitation. Blood. Everywhere. After that, my mother took my hand and tried to find us some shelter. We didn't make it very far. We saw all the bodies in the town square, mountains of them. The ground was full of blood, almost like an ocean. If you look closely, you can still see some of the stains, even today.
It seems unrelated to Shane's attack, but I sit and listen. He told me he'd tell me the truth, so I should see where this goes.
My mother made a judgment call and did something risky. What's the one place they would never look for survivors? That's right, amongst the corpses, covered and crushed by them. I was crying, but she helped me get underneath a bunch of bodies. She played dead and lay on the outside, holding my hand as tight as she could. I remember how she kept telling me that everything would be okay. That soft whisper.
Wow.
She didn't make it very long. They found her and stabbed her over and over. I felt her wince every time. The grip of my hand got tighter and tighter. Then, after a while, it just let go. I got to feel her final moments. The voice telling me that everything would be okay soon went silent. I was left there, under a pile of bodies, covered in blood. The last embrace I remember, the last time I held a hand.
This was heavy. This is heavy.
It's not something I could ever do again. It just reminds me of that day. Now you understand how Shane made me freeze in fear and surprise. He was the only other person I told this to. He used that to trick me. And he would have killed me too, if it wasn't for you and Hal. I was finally ready to get close to somebody again. And then this happens. That's how I know Shane wasn't just acting. He played dirty, and he wanted me dead.
I'm so sorry.
There was so much running through my mind the moment he stabbed me. I thought perhaps he was trying to win over the triumvirate so he could get more intel. But then he stabbed me again. And again. I knew that the man I once knew was gone. They did something to him while he was imprisoned. They won him over. I don't know how they did it, but they turned him into a completely different person. We must never let another one of our allies fall under their thrall. Never.
No. I nod, agreeing with Dominic. But that was a horrible story. Going through that as a child, his aversion to physical contact make perfect sense now. Aversion. He never shook my hand. Got it. And Shane is an awful person, having taken advantage of that. Startling Dominic, making him relive those memories, and killing him. That was despicable.
Sorry for dropping all of that on you, Monarch. I just needed to tell somebody. It was eating away at me. And I trust you. I know you'd never do anything like Shane did.
No. That goes without saying. However, the room soon falls to silence. Dominic fidgets awkwardly, clearly nervous.
Well, I guess that's enough to kill any conversation. Like I said, I'm sorry for dropping all of that on you. Anything else you need to say to me while you can?
Not everyone will hurt you, Dominic. Opening up is a good thing.
It's easy to say that, but it's harder to actually try. Especially when you've had a track record like I have. I want to, but there's just something stopping me, you know? It's nothing against you, or anyone else I consider a friend. I just have to put this barrier up for my own benefit. I don't want to hurt anybody either, actually. This is war. I almost died back in the Rebel HQ. If I did, can you imagine the pain my allies would feel? Getting close to somebody in a time like this would be a disaster.
You're doing it so they don't have as much of an emotional bond to you? We already do. You're a kind soul. If any friend we ever have falls, gets lost, we would feel the same way whether we're that close to you or as close as we are now. He smiles and gets out of the bed. I do as well. I could tell that he was ready to end this conversation.
Well, Shall we call it then? I think this is as good a time as any. Let that new information process for a while.
Yeah.
When it comes to my past, that's about it. From now on, we can look to the future. I hope it's just as bright as I picture it.
Yeah. With that, he walks away from me and back up to the deck. I was glad that he liked me enough to tell me about his past. It was my duty to never take advantage of that, like Shane did. Ulrich, hurry, let's talk. The music will take us over. I make my way down to the ship cabin and see Ulrich sitting on a bed. This sounds familiar. At least whatever passes for a bed aboard a somewhat cramped ship. He's sharpening his sword, clearly exerting himself as he does so.
Hey there, Monarch. As you can see, I'm getting ready for combat. I give it 2 days before we are dragged into conflict. They don't use words to resolve things in Alarinthia. It's always a duel or a tournament. That's all they do. When we are there, we might as well speak their language.
He smirks, as if the promise of action is exciting to him. He did hate Alarinthia, but he also loved combat. It was his nature. Hopefully, he'd get to tackle a challenge worthy of his skill while we were there.
Gotta make the most of a bad situation, right? I'll get to give my sword arm a real challenge. What about you, Monarch? Excited for this?
Yeah, marching into certain death, born ready. I don't know, maybe I can try this. Of course, can't wait to secure that alliance. Fighting side by side with you, had the dream come true. I wish we wouldn't have to resort to violence. I can go either way. So this is the boring, neutral answer. I feel like I want to try one of these just once.
Reminds me of myself when I was younger. Just be careful, Monarch. Don't make reckless decisions. After this war is over, you have an entire world to rule over, you know?
I know. I know. It's gonna weigh so heavily on me.
Not to put any pressure on you, of course.
Already have.
Actually, it's the opposite. Knowing your importance should fill you with hope and resolve. With your authority and that blade, you can do anything.
Yeah, some people just get crushed under pressure because of how they feel inside. Emotions are complicated and of course different for everybody. Some person would love to be on the seat of command, where some would just crumble under it going, I don't know what to do. I'm mostly like at least one butt cheek on that seat. I'm not sure, I'll crumble. But then again, I would love to help people as much as possible. I'm not sure if I'm a great leader. Would be a great leader. But the thing is, everyone can practice. If you want something and it's hard for you, push past it and keep trying. And you might become better than what someone would naturally feel on the seat. Because you went through a challenge that you had to push through and found out what it is you truly want. Or someone to just feel relaxed and just do what they feel is correct. Like anyone should, really. But anyways.
But I'm guessing you didn't come down here for a lecture. Have a seat. There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
Alright. I nod and sit down beside him. He continues sharpening his sword, and I watch. He must have gotten worn out during the battle back at the headquarters.
I don't want to scare you, and I'm not really hiding anything. But we're about to go to my homeland. You might hear things. Can you promise me something, Monarch? No matter what happens. Remember me for the things I've done for you and the rebellion. No matter what you hear about me or my past, please, don't judge me. I wouldn't judge you based on your past, so I expect the same from you.
And here is where a beautiful saying would be, people are not their past. The past you can learn from, but it does not define you. Because you are who you are today. If you chose to do some things in your past, but then as you grow up, you decide to leave that behind and choose a different path, a better path than something you regret in the past, it's not fair to hold that against someone. Because I was not really the worst of person in the past. Any kid would be like somewhat rambunctious or just not very nice at all times. I wasn't a bad child as far as I can remember, but I definitely wasn't relaxed and calm and as kind as I am now. I can call myself kind because I don't like hurting people. I can't even smack talk. I can try, but then I'll feel regret and going, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The point is, your past does not define you, because your past is not today. Lyrics to a song that I didn't even hear fully. In fact, I'd like to hear again, because those are great words. So yeah, take that into heart, guys. I nod. I can afford him that courtesy, as long as he's not hiding anything heinous. But he doesn't seem like that type. He's truly devoted his life to the same cause as me.
Good. Then that's pretty much everything I had to say. I was really worried. I wasn't sure how to handle that topic. So rather than overthinking it, I just shot straight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was especially hard since you're such a powerful figure. I'd hate to get on your bad side, so I need to be fully open. I have a few secrets, as we all do, but nothing really bad.
Powerful figure? Look at these noodle arms. I have yet to practice. Calling me king and calling me seer is just something I have, or I was given, but I have to earn it. I have the position ready for me, but I have to earn it. So,
if you don't find out in Alarinthia, I'll probably tell you myself. In fact, maybe it would mean more if it came directly from me. Sorry, I must sound stupid. I'm not really good at this kind of stuff.
No. Go ahead.
Talking about myself is hard. It definitely helps to get drunk. But ale was something they didn't think to pack for this voyage. Maybe I'll pull some strings so the ride back can be more lively.
He gives me another one of those trademark smirks. I get the feeling that he really does use alcohol as a social crutch. He's much more open and lively while under the influence. Is that bad? Also, I have the window open because it's spring, it's raining, it's fresh air. But the thing is, I'm smelling no-bake cookies. The peanut butter and cocoa smell wafting through the air. It's so good, but I know it's not that. I know it's fresh air outside, but dang, it smells like cookies. I guess it's not my place to say, as long as it doesn't get in the way of his duty. Something told me that our visit to Alarinthia would put him in the spotlight more than ever. I get up from the bed and turn around to face him. He continues working on his sword.
Sorry I didn't have much to say. I guess I'm a little shy. But it'll all make sense in time. I can promise you that. When that time comes, you need to keep your promise.
I will. He's really pushing this promise thing. Should I be concerned? No. I am you. You are me. I will hold this promise. Like I said, someone's past does not define them for who they are now. I hate for him to use it as leverage if some horrible secret comes to light. Thankfully, I see Ulrich as a good person. He wouldn't hide anything bad from us. Like you said, it'll all make sense in time. All I can really do is go about my business and wait. Suddenly, I'm more excited about our journey to Alarinthia. Both Alestia and my comrades were slowly opening up to me. In the last few days, everything had changed. What else could change? That thought fills me with both excitement and fright at the same time. Alright, Pro. I see Pro sitting at one of the beds, striking a match. He used it to light some nearby candles, creating a laid-back atmosphere. The candle slowly fills the crew quarter with a sweet aroma. Very relaxing.
Hey there, Monarch. Perfect timing, actually. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, sure.
I thought we could get to know each other a little better. Unfortunately, our time was cut short back at the Rebel HQ. But this is a long voyage, with no need to cut any corners.
True.
So, wanna have a seat? We can get things started. The candles are supposed to be relaxing, something about aromatherapy. I never really looked into it, but I'm scared of water, so I needed help.
Fair enough. I love water. I'm not saying that I love it so much that I don't fear it, because if you have no air and you're underwater, you're gonna drown. You can't breathe. And waves in the ocean can be very crushing, and there's nothing, and you only have yourself to be buoyant above the water, unless you prepared yourself for things. And you only have so much energy in your body to keep going. So, yeah, water can be scary. But to me, I have a positive side to it, that it's very relaxing, soothing. I sit down beside Pro on the bed. Already one fact richer. Huh? So he was scared of water. Oh, that. He must not be having much fun. It makes me wonder what else I don't know about him. He's a mystery.
You should tell me about yourself, Monarch. And this is because I'm genuinely interested, I swear. Whatever you tell me, I'll never write down in any books. That's what friends do, right? Confide in each other? I know I always talk about writing books and conducting interviews, but the truth is, this time, I want to keep things between the two of us.
Alright. I nod and tell him a random fact about myself. Nothing harmful, just small. Okay, let's see. Just to give you guys something, what's a small fact about myself? Now, here's something humorous. When years ago, and it still sits to the day, someone was over, a family member, and they were making tuna melts or something with like cream cheese or sour cream or something like that. One of those. And I think, oh, I don't really like that. Goes, no? Oh, okay. And I don't really like sour cream or cottage cheese or mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. And I said something else, I'm sure, but then I was like, I also don't like the feel of paper, just because I was on the road of saying what I don't like. And their response was hilarious. They said, so you just don't like the color white. That's not true. White is fine. It's just a lot of things I hate are. So there's a fact about me. I don't like a lot of things that are white. Not because it's white, just because it happens to be so, doesn't make it I hate white. He smiles, and we start to exchange facts about each other. He seems really happy. The pressure not to write any of this down and treat me like a subject just feels relieving.
Everyone always treats me with such apprehension, you know? Like, anything they tell me, I'll turn around and use it against them. That is a part of my business, but it's not like I want to do things that way. I hope people don't treat me that way after the war is over. I'm quitting this swindler's life as soon as I get the chance. I'll still write, but I won't use information as a weapon. Ever.
Honorable. That's cool.
Instead, I'll use it to help those in need. You know, I've done it before, and it feels good. Information can either be a sharp knife or a warm embrace.
That's true. History has shown helpful information and heck, stories of someone's life and how well they've lived it, giving encouragement and joy to someone. Or it could be sharp as a knife. It can bleed someone's life out, going like, this is what this person's secrets were, this is how things happened. And it can be, it could totally be.
Weird metaphor, I know. But like I said, I'm no fiction writer. I prefer to focus on stuff that's real, like people and their actions. They ripple outwards, affecting people in ways they'd never know.
I know, it's so weird. I've made people happy just by being me. And I'm happy that I made people happy.
Of course, that's something that applies to normal people. There's nothing normal about you, Monarch.
Nope.
No offense, of course.
No.
You're going to be in charge of the entire world after this war is over.
And it's crushing me! Oh boy, man, it's gonna be so new to be taking the leader seat. As long as no one expects anything from me to high expectations, then no, I'm just a person that just put in this seat and I have to do my best to fulfill its role. I am not prepared for this. Just to let you know. Now, talk about putting the pressure on. Pro senses this and changes the subject.
Can I tell you a little secret? Maybe it'll make you see things differently. You know, so you won't picture me as a bad person.
By the way, this voice actor is really good. He adds... That way he talks is really dang good. I want to applaud for that. Everyone else has a good voice. This guy is doing a good voice acting to make it feel like he's a person.
I can tell that a lot of people do, even if they don't say it. But all I'm doing is helping Dominic win this war in the best way I can. It's not my fault I'm like this. All I can do is play with the hand I've been dealt.
You got a couple aces up your sleeve, I'm sure. I'm sorry. Continue. He smiles, but suddenly a wave of fear overtakes my entire body. I shut my eyes tightly as that last phrase echoes through my mind. Where did I hear that before? All right. During my visions. When I first touched the Blade of Exodus back in Velanorth, the series of visions ended with me getting stabbed by a man. A man that, unfortunately, I'm now able to identify as Pro. He lets out a soft laugh and rests his hands behind his head, laying back. My heart beats incredibly fast as this revelation slowly processes itself inside my head. The final vision the monarchy had given me was a Pro betraying all of us. Was that going on? Why would he do that?
There was this little boy who got abandoned by his parents. He didn't know why, and that hurt him so much. Maybe they just didn't want him. But why? What did he ever do to them? It made no sense, and he hated that. He had to grow up on the streets, living on the scraps that other people threw away. It wasn't just his parents, you know. It almost seemed like nobody wanted him at all. That just made things worse. Can you imagine feeling unwanted by the world?
I'll say yes, but because you use the word imagine. I can imagine that, but I haven't been there. As he starts telling me the story, the anxiety slowly dissipates. Pro was a swindler, right? Maybe he was only pretending to kill me? I don't think Pro could hurt me. There must be a deeper meaning here.
He started to pick up on people's secrets. You know, just little things. After a while, he found out that people would pay anything to learn these secrets. As a teenager, he used this ability to live a luxurious life of gluttony and sloth. He knew secrets that could topple cities or destroy people's relationships. But none of that gave him satisfaction, because there was one thing he never knew. Why his parents abandoned him. Why they didn't want him. Did he deserve it?
That's something. I don't believe anyone that has no evil intention should ever deserve something like that. If it's a kid, they're a kid. If they did some bad things or being a little rambunctious or rebellious, they're still learning about life. And you're there as parents. You're supposed to be there to help them, guide them. That's a parent's job. If they choose to have a child, it's their responsibility to help raise that child, to see the world in a light, in a good light. And if they start straying from that, you can't force them. You should never force them. Because let's say this, even though you're an adult, most likely, if someone was to yell at you and rage at you and just try to tell you what you had to feel, believe, or anything, would you? Or would that voice inside your head say, no, forget you? I don't want to listen to someone who's being mean or forceful or controlling. If you ever do that to a child, what do you think they're going to do? Act and do what you want them to out of fear because you want to control them by fear? Or do you want them to feel welcome to an idea? And if they still don't do it, don't feel like, oh, I tried and they didn't listen to me. What's being kind doing for me? Then you're being the wrong mindset. You're there to help them and guide them, not make them. You weren't made, and I'm talking about you. You weren't made. You made yourself. And your parents and friends and people you met along the way of your life helped sculpt you. For better or for worse sometimes. But you are making you. Your child is making themselves. You're guiding them. I am no parent, but I feel like this is the right words. Because no one wants to be forced. But giving suggestions or guidance, a kind nudge, if anything, is much more welcoming to maybe they will do that. Not saying they will, but keep that in mind. So back to what this started with. No, you did not deserve this.
It was too humiliating to admit, so he made up another story. His parents died during the occupation. That was much less embarrassing. Everybody believed him, and that helped him fit in with a new group of people. This new group of people, the rebellion, wanted to use his skills for good. They accepted him with open arms, which is something nobody had ever done before. He knew he found his place in the world, and since then, he served his new family. He keeps prodding the locals for information, picking up all sorts of secrets. He wants to know why people do the things they do, and what motivates them. He does this so nobody has to suffer like he did. Simply not knowing the reason.
Now, when we first met Pro, and knowing that he was eavesdropping, looking through mail and all that, I was thinking, how dishonorable. Why is he doing this? This is just not right. I don't think I could ever do this. But hearing him out, I love getting to know people and knowing things, and like he does, he wants to do it for good. Knowing something and using it for good and not for leverage or bribery, that's amazing. And I love getting to know people. Any comments I ever get, and at this current point, I don't get many, but I'm not saying comment me, give me something to read. No. If you want to, I will read it. And when when I'm streaming on Twitch or talking to people around, making new friends, at least acquaintances, I love getting to know people. knowing why they think a way, why they do something, their strategy in a game, why they play a certain way. It's fascinating. So I want to change my answer from back then in the first few episodes. I think I would like to be in his position. I'd love to get to know people and help. I notice he starts to get sad, and tears are forming in his eyes. He's talking about himself. He's the boy in the story, I can tell. I already knew that, man. Perhaps telling me as if it were a story made it easier for him.
So everybody thinks this guy is bad. A blackmailer and a swindler. He might be right, but it's just how he grew up. He had no control. He had nobody to show him how to act. Nobody to care or love him. Until the rebellion took him in, of course. I'm sure you already guessed it, but that boy is me. All my actions, however bad, have had a reason. I want to keep going until I learn about my parents. Where are they now? Why did they throw me away? If they weren't proud of me, then would they be proud now? I hope you can understand. I really do. I'd do anything to learn where they are right now. I'd follow any order. I just want to see them face to face and finally learn the reason why.
Someone abandons you as a child just because they weren't proud of you. They're not worth going back to. If you want to just get to know them, then fair enough. It's answers you want, not them. I would never want to go back to someone who just abandons me just because they weren't proud of me. If you want someone to succeed in life, be there. Guide them. Help them. As I said, don't force them.
That's why I threw myself into this world of secrets and trickery. I thought that if I kept going, maybe one day I'd learn the truth. I guess we'll find out before this war is over. Right, Monarch?
I nod and give him a soft smile. It meant a lot that he opened up to me. It must suck to not know the truth of something like that. I can't even imagine. But it explains why he's so obsessed with learning about actions and motivations. We talked for a bit longer about nothing important before parting ways. Perhaps he wanted to ease the tension in the room after dropping those facts. After we're done, he seems happy, and we seem closer. There was no loss here today. Alright, and because we still have the music going on, we're going to save, and going to end it off here. A 40-minute video, but we got through the stories and the back, knowing people. And next episode will be music. No progress in the story, it's just listening to this beautiful piece. So thank you guys for stopping by and enjoying this story with me. Until we see each other again, have a great day, everyone.